Good people of the world of Hold, hello! So we are back with once again the continuation of the match between Cliff and Blaj. So they are playing on an ultra wide coastal wine basin, ultra wide tiny indeed. And the game is nearing its conclusion with 58 out of 62 victory points on Blaj side and 43 out of 62 on Cliff side, the Babylonian side. So this is how the game ended after the last session, which maybe one upgrade or a healing performed while I was loading in the game. Sorry, reading. Alright, they are still on post timer at the moment. So we left the game with the game in first grasp of Blaj, it seems, but I notice a very big change, a very big immediate change. Is that part of the nail in the coffin getting the last victory points for Blaj are these two wonders. They are enough for the 4 victory points that are required to win. And the essential missing ones. There are a few more, like an impending culture level in Kuban. But that's mostly it, I believe. The other culture levels have been grabbed already, so he needs these two wonders to complete. There's maybe a luxury that could be used to start another estate and get an opulence project, but I believe they've already got opulence projects in all the cities in which they've built estates. So here, this one has its opulence project as well. No estate here. Here there is an estate, but the opulence project is completed. In the capital there is an estate and an completed opulence project as well. And finally in Quasir Ibrim, same. So there's no immediate opportunity to get an additional victory point to supplement the wonder. One thing I remarked upon profusely during the last stream was that these wonders are not protected. Elgol assume that once started they were going to complete. There's no bireams that have been produced to protect these workers. There's no siege units or other ranch units close to the border to defend from potential ships. His opponent has ships. He has 3 times maritime protection with 3 coastal cities against a single one. So it would be hard to produce reinforcements anyway, and apparently he's staying on Council for now. So I'm not sure where he is playing his turn, potentially pushing an attack toward his opponent, or doing something else. He's already spent quite a few orders, but I didn't catch where for this turn, unless there is a big surge. Alright, the Kushite pyramid is spreading paganism in Karanog, but no shrine. Yet, anyway. So historically, Kush trusted the religious founding in this game. Judaism is the most useful one to grab victory point because it would provide mythology and additional culture point, additional culture from shrines, which can go very quickly, especially as Kush, where you have an extra 50% bonus on the shrine yield. He's provoking his opponent with a slinger movement, and his opponent might find it hard to kill the slinger. I'm not so sure about that. Yes, they are standing on a hill, which is some protection against the extra range onagers or other range units can get. But they can be killed by melee. They would inside, though, their opponent to move in and get in range of onagers. And of course, there is a cataphract counter-attack, as well as a strong deterrence against route temptation with pikemen on the ground. His opponent reached polyboloys recently, so let me see if I can find one. There were ballistas on the front line, but this is a polyboloy. You can see beautiful torsion catapult. Well, they were supposed to be repeating crossbows, really, but and they inflict plus 50% attack on ranged units, so they would be very strong against the core of the Kushite army, but that core has been vigorously supplemented by pikemen who are very strong against mounted units. There were quite a few devastating routes from Babylon earlier this game. So pikemen would devastate mounted units, and also they cannot be routed. There's an interrupt route chain if they are in the middle of it, and they apply zone of control to mounted units. So mounted units could reach these units directly, for instance. This is a little bit tender, a little bit fragile. Killing one pikeman here would be enough to unlock things, but I believe Babylon could also cancel wonders. So there are wonders completing in 3 and 5 years. So Scientific is saying basically Babylon has like 6 years to take a city. That's my understanding of where we are. So maybe that's your understanding, but and sorry, I'm joking around. But in 5 years, this wonder will complete. But very different from last game. It seems Cliff has picked up on the fact that he has a ship and that he can attempt to cancel these wonders. So I don't know if he will do something about that, but it looks like he is. He rushed second by Rim in Kish. He's moved this existing one forward. He's picked a promotion. I assume in the hope of fishing for potential fireship promotion, which would push a walker away and really put the wonder at risk of cancelling. But he's getting a second by Rim right now. He hasn't decided to push a bit more, but that's what he did. Just coming back to his turn, which was about to complete when I loaded in the game. And no, Kush is playing and apparently not focusing on that. Since when does Mohawk have ads on Twitch? I do not know. I use ad blockers everywhere myself, so I have no idea. And I do not have admin access to account, so I do not know if we have even options to do something about that. I assume so, but there is a minimum amount of ads, I believe, that Twitch imposes on people, as YouTube does, actually. So, and I will confess that I don't even know how to prevent that. I assume maybe subbing, maybe whatever. I don't know how Twitch works. I used ad blockers myself. So, because ads are bad. Alright, we are back to Babylon. So, Zealot against Zealot once again. A strict tracker, proud, blessed, adopted Zealot. Yes, that's quite standoff in the north. To be fair, we are on turn 121. And yes, there we are. Action is happening. This deserves a forced march. And killing the walker right now. Please do it. Don't wait for your opponent to react. Oh, grabbing the promotion, fireship instead. Alright. Alright, if you get an opportunity for fireship, maybe it's worth it. I would rather have killed the walker first, though. You want security. Your opponent is going to react, even if you have 3 cities that can produce ships and your opponent has only 1. I mean, your survival is in play here. Don't stop here. Get more. Threaten your opponent along the southern line. Cancel both wonders. Make sure the city suffers. Threaten your opponent. Force them to divert some of their forces. Their positions are quite static, reliant on forts, on fortified units, on siege units. You are still comparable in power, and you can strike. So that's what you're doing here. But additional ships would also help with that. So yes, using your ship is important. Getting an additional ship is very good, but This city should be producing a ship, this city should be producing a ship, this city should be producing a ship, and this city should be producing a ship. Don't half-ass your wars. You have the resources to do that, or you could buy it. Do it. Yes, first thrash that, this pair of workers, cancel both wonders, then make an anchor chain and strike a lot more vigorously directly at the strong city. It's worth 3 victory points. Cut access of your opponent to the sea. This city is about as far as this one, if you have naval movement. Yes. Yes, Cliff, you are making me happier. And hello, Maniac, I don't remember saluting you, and hello, Magnus von Snappel, as well. Those army size are not wild, they are late game army size, and the tournament is set up to have early game resolution, because those games are network, because they are casted live. But that's not the only way to play the game, and if the situation is balanced enough, or if the map is large enough, or if the setup is slow enough, let's say team games for instance, armies can get quite big indeed, but these are, well, I would say not, from my perspective, and at any rate, not surprising for this stage of the game. So sure, the game is an outlier compared to the rest of the tournament with how late it went, but by itself it's not so surprising that that we see such large army. And here come the additional ships, so don't stop, get biremes. Council again, and Master Acolyte, Apprentice Acolyte, really? We're getting trolled by our players. No problem. I mean, I get what you mean. Compared to the vast majority of the games that have been showcased and published recently, which are very focused around the tournament, which is a duel tournament specifically, and there you go. This will be better protected and hard to dislodge and rushing additional biremes. So don't go with 2 against 0. You're not done. You need more. Alright. Don't half-ass your wars. That's #1 advice. Don't move in with half your units. Don't pour half your resources in an assault. I was almost going to say in an all-out assault, because by definition assaults should be all-out. I mean, it's different in an FFA where maybe you don't want to look too threatening to the people you're not actively fighting, but in a duel, there's no question. So a lot that matters is happening right here. If this anti-wonder assault doesn't work, doesn't pan out, Cliff is done anyway. Blaj will win. But we'll see what happens in the center line as well. So onagers have kept creeping forward over the past few turns, and I assume they will keep doing that. But I do not know for sure. Of course, they would have to expose their front line to their opponent's unit a bit more clearly to do that, which is maybe a bit frightening. What is this? Alright, going for the siege. Very good. So another cataphracts can indeed... No! No, kill everything. I mean, okay, Enlist is a cool ability, but this guy's probably dead. Maybe there's no other polypoloi in range? I know there is. You have a routing zealot with 7 courage. Just kill more units. It's cheaper as well in civics. You would have easily inflicted the missing hit points on whatever siege units are here. You could have done more. I'll put it that way. Alright, so we get the route with another unit at least, so that's very strong. But pushing all the XP of the kills on your leader is very valuable. I understand getting a polyboy is cool. But I would say enlisting is maybe a little bit of a trap when you can leverage your strongest unit, the most damaging, with 13.3 strength, 13.3 strength. At least I assume this is his strongest cataphract. Seems to be, from the few I checked anyway. And moving into crossbows with spikes is alright. The game is still to be decided after all. I shouldn't comment too much. And cataphracts sure are decisive. His opponent doesn't have pikes, but spears and crossbows can still do a lot of damage even to cataphracts. And they are exposed to a lot of siege units that they do not have a solution for, so I think they are being a bit too ambitious there. They will certainly get punished for it, at least a bit. They are taking losses that they don't need to take. They are giving the opponent a chance to take some more initiatives. And yeah, they want to avoid that, but I would say that this is a critical situation, and to be fair, they cannot do much more about that than getting a Byrim and a Nanager to support them, and that's it really. So let us see how this conflagration evolves in the center. North center, I should say. Alright, one more ship happened. Yeah, almost but not quite. Surely you can get the missing point of damage. There it is. Very good. Alright, this is looking a lot better. Yeah, this one too. That would be great. The fantastic or the efficiency of mounted units is on display. Can they sneak another mounted unit in the back? Yes, with a costly force march, but I believe that's worth it to kill the last polyboy, if only for the oh, alright. That was a route through walkers, which is okay. Yes, not bad. The missing slinger every time. Alright, so quite a decisive attack. So they might well break their opponent's morale before they reach the victory threshold. No matter how close they look to be to that. Alright, we have one more cataphract. Okay, pikemen are inflicting good damage and restricting the movement of further units. I would have liked an attempt to kill the enemies a lot though. And maybe they will. Quite a few marches have been expanded to get to this point. They're ready to get rid of the mounted units, although these are weakly puny horsemen, which are not really threatening to one-shot managers. So maybe that's fine. Quite a punishing strike in the end. And alright, they will be they will have spent their orders quite soon. But this is the most important part. Their opponent, well, should be able to cancel this wonder if they don't get too sidetracked by the ship itself. Can push the worker away and then put your ship on top of the wonder, cancelling it immediately. But still, of course, capturing the city would provide an additional point, affording Blaj and Kush the possibility to lose one of the wonder and still win. And then, if their conquest continues, of course, they can get well, additional VPs everywhere. But their opponent isn't defenseless. Diverting forces is probably costing them a little bit in the center, but it's also an opportunity to remove some of the VPs from Blaj, some more. This is not a number you want to see, though. And does he have enough crossbows left to deal with those pikemen? It doesn't really look like it. He does have a few, and it can definitely inflict damage. But yeah, his capability to rout are severely damaged. I believe there's only 2 horsemen left. Still, polyboloids do a lot of damage, and they do that with cleave and pierce too, so you can set up a 3 units route chain, most probably with a single polyboloid attack here. We'll see if any of that appears. The Byrim is completed. And alright, he got distracted, so he pushed the walker away, but didn't scrap the wonder. He attacked he mobilized the fire ship, the opponent ship instead. But there will be another ship. Both wonders will be protected. This is an opportunity missed. In all likelihood, they will not be able to cancel the wonder next turn, unless they can force march a Byrim, but they cannot. They are out of range, even as a Zealot, because the game is on double fatigue force march limit. So, too late. This opportunity is past. Alright, so a significant misplay from Cliff here. I'm not sure what he had in mind, but probably didn't think about it too much before pulling the trigger. So it really looks like both wonders will be able to complete, unless he can kill the ship, then push everything away, but this Byrim is going to complete. And well, actually, it depends where it spawns, because these Byrims will apply zone of control. So Byrim spawn here, the first one. I assume the next one will spawn here. So it might not be able, well, it would not be able to reach and cover and protect this tile. So Cliff might yet survive that apparent misplay. So oh, alright, not very structured attack. They are attacking with their, well, they are not attacking with their onagers first, and you should do that because after a while your onagers will be out of opportunities to attack, so they get wasted essentially. And with polyboloids, I believe you should really try to maximize cleave. There was a golden opportunity to hit 3 ranged unit and pierce through the spearmen here. But yeah, probably it takes experience to identify those patterns and or to do so quickly at any rate. So maybe that's what is missing here for our players. But one of those precious horses are getting are doing things. He captured a cataphract from his opponent, of course. So that will be a threat Blaj will have to deal with, certainly, with a big pack of mounted units. That's definitely a big threat. These ones are standing on forts, but ballistas and anything that moves forward will be under threat. Alright, and we are seeing crossbows working against pikemen, which is a beautiful sight, to be sure. Even in forests, they are quite dangerous. Yes, the river is not where you wanted it. Still, I believe it is a little bit too late for a good cliff here. I wonder if he knows the wonder can be cancelled. Could be that he's just trying to prevent construction. If you don't know that wonders can be cancelled, I don't believe you would move in with ships like that. That's something that's been discussed enough, I think. Last week it was very apparent that they, well, last session, sorry, that they hadn't connected the possibility that a wonder could be cancelled, and so they need to protect it from Blaj, and the possibility to cancel a wonder, and so they needed to attempt that from Cliff. Interestingly, there's no additional scouting of the coastline by Cliff. Both players had ignored their opponent's coastline last week, and I believe that is still true, so that is expanded now by the ship movement toward the wonders in progress in Babylonian's vision. And I assume in Kush there has been no new effort to scout there, there's no real reason to scout more. But there is a big power imbalance there that should favor Cliff, with 3 coastal cities, with a head start in Byrim. They relented a bit though. They've produced an additional Byrim, but they haven't sent it forward. They have stopped Byrim production, but I believe it is critical that they stop this wonder production, so they should probably put a little bit more priority on it. In my assessment anyway, that's my perception of it. Siege units are responding, but this feels like a desperate battle. Well, siege units and Cimmerian archers, of course. It is surprising to me that players seems to be giving up without even attempting to kill the opponent's zealot, which is obviously a very large threat. So of course they are hard to kill, but of course it's very valuable. You're going to lose a unit to them, and your opponent is going to gain a unit from with them next turn. Denying that seems a very high priority. Alright, and the ship isn't moving. So, yeah, his opinions are not great. I suppose they are decent for this trader ship, but they are negative for this Amorite one. Whereas on the Kushite side, the artisans are ecstatic, they are very happy, so there's a slight advantage there. The ship has a strike as well. And we'll see that new Byrim might, with a free random promotion as well. Where is that coming from? I mean, there's no wonder yet. Do they have? I wonder if Babylon will cancel the wonder lighthouse. Well, it's not a lighthouse. The lighthouse isn't in the game, but the Cothon and the Colossus are here. And yeah, that's pretty much what they were ignoring last session. Blaj was making no move to protect his wonders that were in protection. And Cliff was making no move to attack them, but that's the big change from the start of this session. Cliff moved in, forced Blaj to react to what's been happening here. So Blaj is definitely winning in the north. He inflicted 18 casualties and it took 5 in return. So this is a slaughter essentially. I hope they will learn their lesson and kill their opponent's crossbow, which shouldn't be that hard. And here the ship is spawning on the wrong side, so indeed they cannot really cover, but they can kill a ship. And we'll see if Cliffs cancels this wonder. They really should. And they could have done it last turn by pushing their opponent away and then walking onto it, or even pushing this opponent away, because that should push the walker as well, and stepping on the wonder with his other ship. But once he'll have only a single ship, this will be harder. So now he can push it away but not kill it. Oh, I'm not sure I agree with that. I would have put another walker to avoid having to heal it. He lost a turn of protection on the wonder. There's still a timer on all these activities, so you shouldn't dilly-dally. But Cliff didn't move his Byrim forward. He stopped producing Byrim, so alright, there's still a lot of tension there. Let's look at the core fight in the center and what decisions Blaj is making in this context. I believe here, yeah, there isn't much more to be said. Oh, Kalanog has been breached by Babylonia last turn, so I somehow managed to miss that while I was commentating on the center. So they will have to react. But, well, I wonder what you're thinking, chat, about what should happen. I think I would say what should happen. What Blaj should try to do is obliterate his opponent's army, because in the long run, if you have an army and your opponent doesn't, you're winning, for sure. No matter tactical play, no matter the wonders, no matter the anything. It might take a bit longer, but kill secure. So, but will he go for that? I'm not so sure. Kill your opponent's zealot. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening there. They have entirely resolved their opinion issues. The conversion of their family to Judaism is complete, including the oligarch, so I didn't quite keep fully track of that on the past few turns, but this was a conversion that was well on its way before. 121 orders, yes, crazy order economy on Kush side. And they do have orthodoxy now for quick production as well, so they can consume it however they wish to. If the walker die, will it consider wonder? Still need a boat to move onto it. I believe you need a boat to move onto it. Well, I'm pretty sure you need a boat to move onto it. You don't need to click on pillage or something like that, because that's the only exception. Wonders where they do not require a walker to, let's say, exist while they are in production. So you can move a walker away from a wonder without cancelling the wonder. And if you push the walker away, as we saw from the wonder, it does not cancel the wonder. But if you put a ship on it, it's automatically destroyed. It's a bit different, let's say, if they were making a mine or a palace or whatever, an improvement. Because then when the walker kills, dies, the wonder is the improvement is scrapped immediately. Well, the last worker, I should say, in case you are stacking several with because you have a filthy builder leader on the throne. Right. Combat is continuing. More slaughter. Still, why risk another unlist? I don't get that. Maybe he's just giving suspense to kill his opponent's leader at the last possible moment with an archer from the backline coming forward and just finishing them for added spite. But surely they have a plan for this cataphract and this crossbowman. Or at least I have to assume they do. And yeah, Kush has been displaying a very strong play for their order economy has been above Babylonia for an inexcusable amount of time, really. If we check it, I mean that's over 20 order more than your opponent, and your opponent has Heliopolis. So getting the Heliopolis some over 20 turns ago and being behind in order is there's no excuse. Babylon is very rich in stone as well. They were lacking on workers, but workers were doing whatever for a very long time. And yeah, I couldn't. I don't understand that. I have to say. All right, so the stolen cataphract got cleaned up. The zealot has been killed. Well, the crossbowman that was led by his opponent's zealot leader has been killed. I believe they should advance and take the city. Half fight. I don't think I agree with that, but alright, so be it. Oh, alright. An additional cataphract, and that should be decisive. They should be retaking their city for good. Yeah, this is continuing slaughter. 21 units, so they killed 18 units, lost 5, killed 21 more. Yeah, it's not even the nail in the coffin, it's another coffin on top, around the original coffin. This is firework to celebrate the end of the game, more than the end of the game itself. Can you show power science order graphs? Yes, sure. So order production, I was just displaying it, so massive advantage for Kush. We've been very diligent on working on their order economy and slightly more legitimacy as well on a few other plays. We'll look at. Let me display it a little bit. So that's mostly orders coming from the cities themselves, and that is a combination of having citizens, having monotheism plus divine rule, having temples. They have quite a few temples with Jebel Bakal, among others. Shrine of Amani, which are what? Where does that come? Oh yes, alright, the adjacent wonders. Shrine of Melul, which is another shrine, of course. Citadel and Stronghold, they have a lot of citadels and stronghold. Did I miss a concession? I might have. Okay, well played, that's about it. Alright, so the game is nailed. I'm slightly sad that we didn't see a cancelled wonder, but we did see a few city captured and I would say, appropriate slaughter from the end. I'm communicating to our players so that we can have a proper surrender and a save provided. And I hope they will oblige, as I do not like to see Alcaraz sad. Alright, so that was order production. Sorry, I went a long time on that. Military production, Babylon was ahead for, well, all the sessions I casted myself anyway. I saw them ahead all along. Blaj was playing a desperate game. His pushback of the Babylonian attack around turn 100 was very strong. And yeah, the final drop is massive. That's a military advantage that existed at that point in power, but also unit mix advantage, where he had exactly what he needed to attack into his opponent. That was very strong, very well played. And Babylon could have done a lot more, but they would have had to strike first, and they really got cold feet. So this was mind war, actually. At that point, Blaj convinced Clifford that they couldn't move forward, that they would lose if they did so. The attack was strong, the counter-attack, but still there were massive amounts of crossbows on one side and a large serving on axes and spears on the other side, and I believe if Cliff had worked on his actualizing the bonus from the Heliopolis, he would have been able to move in with his crossbows and inflict debilitating damage before Blaj had a chance to entrench with forts, with onagers, with everything he deployed. Still, very impressive game from Blaj. Very interesting game as well. With a lot of back and forth option. I'm going to try to make a save. I don't know how well that works as an observer. But I will make one. And alright, so this is the final assault. So from turn 121 to 123, barely a scratch for Kush. But the catastrophe, of course, when you get those 10th strength unit, we strike 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, depending on the route you can set up. This is massive, of course. And the science, so Babylon had an advantage for a long time in the game. We can see that despite the massive production of the massive increase in science production from Kush from the late mid-game onward, I mean, at this point, 10 turns ago, the amount of science spent had only a 300 cap, very small, and even in the end game, the complete end game, there's 800 research difference spent between our players. So we do not have everything with free techs and events and all that, but that's a 600 tech. That's doctrine, the difference between the two. But I believe we can say that Blaj was much more efficient in his research. He researched things he could use, like military units, like barding, like not delaying steel, then battle line, then everything as his opponent did. He could get infantry square right away, whereas his opponent went for scholarship and windlass, and windlass is well, it's very strong, but it's very costly, and he didn't use his timing. When he had about 10 crossbows on the field with units he could kill on the other side, he didn't move in, and of course of course, Hunter, Kush is scary, uh, but but the Yam family was furious for a long time, minus 20%, which is probably the most efficient way to negate the Sentinel bonus. And they could have moved in at that point, and they did not. So if you're getting a costly timing like crossbows, because crossbows aren't cheap to get to, then you need to use it. Alright. I believe, well, unless you want to see additional stats, there's probably other things to be shown. We see a very high legitimacy here on Kush. I do not know if that stays unaltered on Babylon, but that's yeah, a 60 gap of legitimacy, but that's 6 orders, right? So it doesn't explain the order discrepancy between our players by a lot. So other shrines, which Kush has and Babylon doesn't have, there were, well, not really here on the front line, but most cities had a garrison and a stronghold, even if they were not producing military units, certainly not unique units. Garrison and stronghold again. Citadel, stronghold, and the garrison must be somewhere. Yes, here. I am half blind. Citadel, garrison, stronghold. Once again, the Trinity here too. In the capital, as should be expected. Really? I'm saying the stronghold? And the citadel, but maybe there's no garrison. Maybe the garrison was replaced by the stronghold. It seems he was quite space constrained in his capital. The legitimacy from the Kushite pyramids, of course, help. A little bit of orders from this particular shrine, but there's no huge amount of wonders. In fact, most of the wonders were grabbed by Babylon and Cliff, but the few that decided the game, that put pressure on his opponent and concluded it, were timely and decided by Blaj. Let me see if I can grab the players for an interview. Alright, we'll see if the players are available and willing to join us for an interview. I'm going to look at this acolyte in protection. I have a reputation to maintain, you see, so... And indeed, multiplayer is very different from single player. Which is, well, maybe obvious, but it can still come as a shock. How much AI behave better. Alright, I'm calling our players and accessory Scientific and Alcaraz. So, welcome and well, a good game. Well played, you both. So I have Blaj and Cliff with me, and Scientific is joining with maybe a few questions about the game. But all right, how do you feel about it?
Hello, can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, just fine. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I find the map a bit too big. It was my fault I picked them up, but I think I've done quite well in the first half. Got a good lead, but I didn't have the orders to get across the map and get up Blaj, so I was sort of stuck. And then he played really well and caught up with me very quickly.
Yeah, I think you had a lead for quite some time. Well, a bit in the mid game, Kush was ahead in military
Yes,
strength,
yes,
but you had a science lead for a very long time until turn 82.
yes,
So so yeah, they caught up at that point, but you had a military advantage by that time.
yeah. And I got
Yeah,
my
that
lead made
crossbow.
quite early, but I couldn't get it into action.
Yes, indeed, but your crossbows were frightening.
Yeah, the war. Yes, I should have made more use of those. Yes, yeah.
And
Yeah, when I saw the mass upgrade of the crossbows, I thought I was gone, but I managed to hold it somehow.
You
And
did. Yes, I was going to really attack you, and I thought I had enough to take that city, but apparently not. You defended it really well, and you were able to reinforce quite quickly, which I wasn't able to do. And in the end, I had to back off. That was well played.
yeah, I must admit I was surprised as a commentator. Obviously, I didn't see the well, not obviously, but I didn't commentate and I didn't catch up on the previous sessions of the game when I jumped in, and I thought the game wrapped in one direction or another like three times, and I was wrong every time or almost. So that was very surprising and interesting to watch a few reversals.
Yes,
I do believe that maybe when you pushed back this strong attack by Babylon in the center, it was a bit mind gamey at the end. You convinced your opponent that they couldn't move in, but they did still have an advantage, a significant one militarily at that point. But it worked, so well done. It was a very strong push, and I'm glad we saw some ship action this game, this session. Last session, I was remarking upon the absence, the complete absence of protection for the wonders that were in production, and the complete absence of reaction on the other side, where they had a Byrim and three coastal cities that could produce ships. So would definitely be able to outproduce Kush in this context. But neither of you had scouted the coastline of your opponent. But yeah, someone thought about it and did something this game and this session, and I'm happy to have seen that. Or worried were you when the Byreams showed up?
yeah, that was a bit scary, but I realized like I had such a big military advantage that I could lose my wonders and I still win. So I just attacked and
Indeed, indeed, and yeah, Cliff, you caught up on that, and I saw in the little bit of turn you had, you moved your ship forward, rushed another one, then you kind of lost motivation on that play, I suppose. The last Byrim is still in Kish, and you stopped production. But yeah, what made you realize you were just like thinking about the game during the few
I
days?
thought, thought the two wonders were further away from being built than what I didn't realize it's so close until Blad's mentioned it in
Hmm.
his messages that he was only three turns away from winning. And then I realized, well, I better hurry up and get some boats out. But maybe should have waited till I had three or four bearings before charging across the screen because the two I don't think was enough to stop him from building the wonders
Uh,
because he quickly.
yeah.
he quickly knocked out a couple of barriers himself and sort of stopped.
You had an opportunity at one point if you had parked a Byreme on the after pushing the walker away with the fireship one. You could have just put a Byreme on the Wonder and cancelled it.
Well, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, to be fair, I believe Blaj's assessment that he had too much of an upper hand in the fight up north is correct. So, yeah. Maybe it could have lasted longer, but yeah. Anyway, I was happy to see some naval play when you realized that it could play a role even in the coastal rain basin. So very good.
All right, thank you. All right, yeah. Well, I enjoyed that. It's a bit different from multiplayer is a lot different from single player, and I've learned a lot and I've enjoyed it. And hopefully there'll be another competition. I really enjoyed that.
I'm sure there will be. There are already ideas being thrown around for new events. Sure. There is an OCC team game getting organized, and the mentor plus newbie. Although there are considerable discussions about who can be a mentor and who can be a newbie at the moment. But I'm sure there'll be more. And it's awesome to see new players getting into multiplayers and enjoying it. So thank you very much for the game. It was a blast to see. Yeah, good game. Well played.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Enjoyed that.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, sorry, we are done with the interviews. I hope I didn't cut it short. I'm not sure I announced it clearly enough. But yes, you can cancel wonders if you put a unit right. The way to do it, either you put any military unit on top of a wonder that's in protection. So obviously you need to kill or push away the walkers that are producing it, which you can do with elephants on land and the fireship on the sea, and then put a unit on it, and that's enough to cancel the wonder. No refund, no nothing. It's quite a punishment, which is why you should protect it, on the other hand. And the other way to do it is to take the city. If you take the city, every improvement in protection, including wonders, is cancelled. So that's another way to do it. So sometimes a key force march or a few anchored ships and the cataphract commandos can do such things, but that is possible. All right, and with that, congratulations again to our players, and thank you all for joining. I believe this is a short stream, but unless you want to see a particular metrics ranking on the screen, I suppose I can over a few favorite ones. So civics protection, Blaj, largely ahead for a large part of, well, for the entire game almost. Training was more disputed. Growth was disputed, despite Blaj having more cities as well, but they produced a lot more walker, I believe. Yes, let me check. So 60 specialist to 36, so that's a science rating we are seeing. Military unit protection is still an advantage to the winner. 36 walkers to 29, and keep in mind that 9 of these walkers technically are just the last session where Cliff was trying to bring Babylonia forward with a full round of walker in each of his cities, but that wasn't enough to catch up, as a lot more improvement, if I remember correctly, were produced by Kush, who had city number advantage for a long time, and made an excellent play with their order economy. They were ahead the whole game, and Cliff didn't quite seize the opportunity to equalize the order economy with the Heliopolis. We barely saw any orthodoxy action, which both of our players could have afforded during the standoff because they didn't have doctrine yet. Of course, there was less reason to get Doctrine from Kush because the Jebel Bakal was on the board. So you get enough free temple that the value of Doctrine isn't quite the same. But with a 3-digit or high 2-digit order economy, it's definitely something that pays off. And with that, I am concluding this stream. So thank you all for joining, and I will share the save I made with the tournament organizer. See you soon. Bye bye.